Hi Muffins, it's Cherie. I'm here to answer your Q's with my A's. So we're gonna do a little Q and slay real quick. I have a lot of questions. Thank you guys so much for coming through on that. So I'm gonna jump right in real quick. Sorry I have to wear my glasses if you see a glare, but I have to look down at my laptop, so gotta be able to see functionality. All right, so let's jump right in. I'm gonna start out on YouTube. Again, I don't know where my camera is. I'm so professional. All right, so the first question is from Pinkie Pie. It says, do you meal plan or you just play it by ear? I've tried meal planning in the past, and it comes to the point when I go to eat dinner, usually it's dinner, that I have the most trouble with, is where I'll make this big grand meal plan and I'll buy all the things and I'm like, yes, healthy. And then I get to dinner and that's like the last thing that I want. And then I don't eat it and then I waste all this food. So basically I just buy the same things every week that I know I can make multiple meals with that can cater to my tastes, and then I kind of just play it by ear. Usually it's by lazy, whatever I can throw together the fastest, because I just want to get it over with so I can eat. But I do always like imagine that I am one of those people that could meal plan and like write it in my planner and like stick to it and grocery shop with coupons and stuff, but just that ain't me. Next question is from Jennifer Wolf. How long have you been doing your eBay shop? My husband and I have had the eBay shop for 4 years. Four-ish years. If you guys don't know, if you're new to the channel, my husband and I have an eBay shop that we run together. I run it from home. He works like a normal grown-up job, but I run the eBay store at home. So when I say I have to go to work or do work, that's what I mean. I have to go do eBay. What does your husband do for, Enzo wants to know, what does your husband do for a living? I wish I could tell you. So my husband graduated from Georgia Tech with some sort of computer-ness, and he works for a tech company doing some sort of things that are coding and mechanical math, and when he talks about it, I go, mm-hmm. So he does something with computers. He's on computers a lot. He says patch. He says code. I don't know any of those words. So I'm going to say he works in computers. Taylor Villarreal. I hope I said that right. Y'all, if I'm murdering your names, I'm sorry. My name is spelled wrong, so if you murder mine, I forgive you. Do you plan on getting any more fur babies? I haven't seen the dogs in your videos. Yeah, I want all of the fur babies. I really want to get pigs. We have a electric fence like enclosure in the backyard. We have an enclosure sort of thing in the backyard that we originally planned to put pigs in. But more animals is more money. We decided to get chickens again first, and then the dogs, you know, farming is expensive. I don't know how people do it. Like, you see them on Instagram and they're like eating organic buckwheat that they grew in their garden, and like there's wildlife like roaming about them, and their hair and makeup is on point, and I'm like, how do you guys do this? And you work from home. Like, what is the secret? Because it's real expensive, y'all, and pigs are not cheap, and feeding them is not cheap, and enclosing them is not cheap. But eventually I would like to have pigs, and I would also love to have at least 2 cows in the pasture. Okay, Williams GE wants to know, what diets have you tried in the past? Okay, there's multiple questions. All right, so what diets have you tried in the past? Every single one. I've done low carb. I've done just cabbage. I've starved myself. I've done where I only eat apples and pretzels. I thought those were healthy, so I would only eat an apple and a pretzel a day. I think I've tried them all except for keto. I have not tried that. And yeah, I've done them all. I even did Weight Watchers way back in the day when Weight Watchers was terrible. So I've done them all. I've also tried a lot of diet pills, which I'm pretty sure is why I have a lot of stomach issues now. I have been really mean to my body, and that's why I'm really excited about Weight Watchers and eating in a healthy way and having a healthy relationship with food. She also wants to know, what is your weight gain story, meaning were you heavy as a child or did you gain weight later? Okay, there's more. Okay, so no, actually I was a chunky little child, like a toddler, like baby fat chunky, but then in like high school and stuff, I could eat whatever I wanted. I was thin, you know, where did that metabolism go? And then my senior year of high school, I got into a pretty bad car accident and I broke my hip. And so I had to miss half of my senior year, and I was in a wheelchair, and I don't know, the weight sort of like I feel like that's maybe what killed my metabolism, like being just sitting for 6 months. When I was walking again, I had gained like 30 pounds, and it was just hard to go from being able to eat whatever you want and not knowing what a healthy thing was to, you know, everything you touch makes you gain weight. So I've struggled with my weight probably from 18 to now. And the size that I currently am is the smallest that I have been as an adult. I've been here before, but I've never gone smaller than this. So that's kind of something I'm really hoping that I can get to eventually, is to reach that like high school weight. Do you feel that Weight Watchers has been the most effective program you have done for weight loss? I do. I mean, it depends on what you mean by effective. There are other programs that totally work. Like, you will lose weight, but they are not, for me at least, sustainable weight loss. I could crash diet. I am a pro. If I really wanted to lose 40 pounds in 2 months, I could do it. But not at the risk of my health anymore. And I feel like that was all of my 20s, was me just going to extremes and starving myself and diet pills and teeth chattering and living on coffee, just totally not learning anything different. And then I would reach my goals and then I'd be right back to where I was before, and then I'd gain it all back. So I feel like with Weight Watchers, I'm gonna get off this roller coaster, and I feel like it's teaching me things that I can carry into the rest of my life, so that when I reach lifetime, I will be there for a lifetime. So I am 150,000% behind Weight Watchers. Especially the new program, because when I did it, you know, back in the 90s, it was not good. It was real bad. Y'all, we used to have to count bananas, and bananas were only like 2 points less than like a Snickers bar. Your girl chose the Snickers. Anya, okay, Anya's got quite a few questions. All right, so the first one says, I remember seeing your stitch counters and I asked what they were, but like, how do you use them? I think what you're talking about is the needle minder. I don't use stitch counters because that makes me stop like in the middle of my stitching. If you guys are unaware, I do a lot of embroidery and cross stitch as a hobby. The needle minder that you saw, it's just a magnet that you stick on your work that holds your needle in place. It's not a counter. But I love them because I'm always losing needles in my chair, and then I find them in my butt. Number 2, have you found any other ways that you like to use your awesome chocolate hummus dip? I really like it actually in oatmeal. It's really good in oatmeal. I love it on bananas. I think it would be really good dipped in pretzels. Like, it's just very universal. It doesn't taste anything like hummus to me. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I have a chocolate hummus recipe. I'll link it down below. It is freaking delicious, and it's 0 smart points on the new Freestyle program. So you should eat it because it's real good. Number 3, are there any fun ways that you jazz up your water? No, I'm an old school water kind of gal. I don't really like, if I'm gonna drink something that's flavored, then I want the real thing. Flavored waters don't really get me. If I'm wanting to detox, sometimes I'll have like lemon and ginger water in the morning, but that's not really for taste. I mean, it tastes good, but it's more for like the benefits to my guts. So I'm not really a huge water jazzer-upper. I just chug it straight. I also don't put ice in my water, if you haven't noticed. I did a study abroad in Peru, and you weren't allowed to put ice in your water for health and safety reasons. And I just got used to drinking the water at room temperature, and now cold water, unless I'm like super overheated, it hurts my teeth and I can't drink it. Do you have any tips to help with cravings and the desire to derail yourself after you've given in to them? This is something that I struggle with still today. As far as avoiding going into a binge, the hardest part for me is if it's around me, which is why I do not keep it in the house. I try not to keep anything in the house that I could binge on, because if I start, I usually can't stop. But I have gotten into the habit of, if I do have a slip up, like, I don't know, last week, I think you guys remember, I got into some spinach dip. I just have to like say, okay, Sheree, we have had this. We did it. We can't go back. We can't undo what we've done. We enjoyed it. Let's call that enough for the day, and then try and pick it right back up on that next meal and make that a better choice. So that way at least I'm not going completely off the rails with every single meal. And that's a tough one, because I know my brain automatically goes to, oh, we screwed up. We should eat everything today so that we can start afresh tomorrow. But no, just gotta tell yourself no. What are your top 5 makeup skincare products? Any must-haves? Ooh, that's a hard one. All right, well, my favorite foundation is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. As I've gotten older, my skin is drier, and that formula just gives me the most beautiful finish, and it's so easy to put on. You just flop it on there with your fingers. I love it. Kat Von D concealer, the Lock-It concealer, that's my, under eye coverage savior. My favorite skincare, I really like rosehip oil. I use that every night before bed as a moisturizer, like a nighttime sort of serum, and it just kind of gives my skin moisture without greasiness, and by the morning time it's just like an angel glowing baby. Another skincare item I really love is Thayer's alcohol-free toner. It's not drying. It makes your skin glow. It smells heavenly. They have all these different scents. My favorite one is the rose and the lavender mint. Get it on my body. So I love that. And then lately I've been obsessed with the Trader Joe's Everyday hand lotion. It has this very, very mild rosemary scent. I mean, you can barely smell it, and it's very moisturizing but not greasy, which is something I look for in hand cream because I can't stand it when my hands is greasy. And I use that all day. I have like 4 of them in every room. Lisa's Country Kitchen wants to know, do you plan to continue your channel and videoing after you've reached goal? If so, what do you envision your platform being? I think so. I think once I reach goal, that's when the adventure of trying to keep it starts. So I definitely see myself vlogging for a while after reaching lifetime, because I'm going to have to get used to that whole, this is our life now. Doesn't mean, because I really feel like because I know myself very well that when I reach goal, it'll be very tempting for me to just give up and eat everything in sight. So I think vlogging will help keep me in track with that. Plus this community is just so amazing. I think that if I quit everything, just droppity, I think I would quit everything, droppity. Also, I'd really like to work with Weight Watchers, like at some point. I've looked into it. In my area, there are only 2 meetings within a 30-mile radius of my house, and all of them are full as far as positions. But I do think that at some point I would like to integrate Weight Watchers into my life, maybe even as a career, because I think that would also help me keep on track. So I'm gonna stay with Weight Watchers for lifetime. But, you know, if my lifetime videos get boring, I don't mind doing more lifestyle stuff as well. Molly, Weight Watchers wifey, wants to know, how did you fall in love with Anne of Green Gables? I think I was in middle school, and for some reason I imagine both of us watching it with our needlepoint cross stitch at 11 years old. That's exactly what happened. I fell in love with it because my mom, I guess, had watched it or had seen it somewhere, and she got it on VHS tape from the library, and it was like, I watched it one day when I was homesick, and I fell in love with Anne of Green Gables because I felt like she was me. Like I also was very imaginative as a child. I think I still kind of am. You know, and I was a bit different, and yeah, I have always loved that time period. It's like all of Anne of Green Gables just spoke to everything inside of me, and it's still my go-to, like, get myself happy or like nostalgia movie. I just have to watch it. So yeah, I think I was around like 10 or 11. She also wants to know, what are 2 things you want to accomplish in your house this year? Whew, so much. So we bought this house 5 years ago, and it's an older home, but that's what I wanted. I wanted something that had life in it and was a little bit quirky, but it needed some work. So we actually are about to embark on finishing our basement. We have a huge basement. It's ginormous. It's the whole size of our house, and we're going to enclose half of it and turn that completely into our eBay office. Because we've outgrown our eBay room, which is actually our dining room. And then I get my guest closet back, like storage everywhere. So this, I would say in the next month or 2, we're going to start construction on the basement, and then hopefully we will move everything around. We're going to have the dining room be an office craft room, and then the basement's going to be the eBay office, and then I'll have my guest room back as an actual guest room, because right now people have to snuggle with all of my makeup and my crafts and the desk for the computer. So it's real tight in there. Bobbers wants to know if I've tried the Trader Joe's peanut butter with the chia seeds and flax in it. No, sadly I don't live near a Trader Joe's, so I don't get to go and like explore stuff. But next time I go, I will let you guys know a little bit in advance, and then maybe you guys can give me a list of things that I must try from the TJ. Brenda wants to know, what do you and your husband do for a living? My husband's in computers, and I'm a stay-at-home trophy wife, and I also do the eBay shop. Sue Flass wants to know, how do you stay so motivated? Actually, this channel is a lot of that. I feel like having people that are kind of gonna keep you accountable makes me motivated to just keep going. If it was just me by myself, I could easily talk myself out of stuff. But with this community, I feel like the backup that you have, it keeps that motivation going. So I strongly suggest that if you are watching this video right now and you are on Weight Watchers, but you haven't like joined Instagram or gotten on Facebook and any of the Facebook groups for Weight Watchers, do it and get that support from people all over the country who are feeling the same things that you're feeling, who can help you answer questions, who can talk you off ledges, because that has been like the saving grace for me since I started Weight Watchers, is this community of amazing, like-minded people, mostly positive. I'd say 99% positive, and it has really kept me going. And another thing is to just keep in mind why you want to lose weight. I know Weight Watchers pushes that a lot, like, what's your why? And my why changes daily. Sometimes my why is I want to look hot in that dress next summer. Sometimes my why is that I want to be healthier and live longer. And you don't have to pick a why and stick to it. Just write down a list of things that motivate you at the time and then keep it somewhere where you can see it. I have mine in my phone, in my notes, and then I also keep screenshots of stuff like outfits that I want to wear but I don't feel comfortable in right now at this size, or outfits that I looked cute in when I was smaller, you know, that kind of thing. And that way, if I'm feeling blah, I just go and look through all of my whys, and then I'm like, okay, let's have eggs for breakfast. Weight Watchers Jen wants to know, what song can you not resist dancing to? Oh, there's lots of them. I am a boogier, y'all. I'm home by myself all day, so like shaking it in the house is not, that's a daily occurrence. But I usually turn on like 90s rap. That makes me shake it. Lately I've been loving that song, Sorry Not Sorry. Is that? Yeah. By, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now because I'm having a brain fart. But that, baby, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. That one? Yeah. Yeah, gets me going. But also any 80s songs, just, I mean, how can you not dance to 80s music? You have to. Best dancer ever. Jackie Paul wants to know, this is related to the gun show that I'm going. She wants to know if I shoot. I mean, I have shot, but I don't shoot on the regular. Like, I don't own a black powder gun myself. Guns kind of scare me, but, you know, they're kind of fun. But I don't shoot on the regular, but my mom and my stepdad both do competitions and stuff like that, so supporting the fam. She says, do you ever get tired of thinking about food? I would say no, but I don't ever get tired because I'm either thinking about it because I'm excited to eat it, or I'm thinking about it because I want to plan what I'm gonna eat. I do kind of get tired sometimes of like always worrying about if I'm eating too much or if it's something that's maybe not on plan, if I shouldn't be eating it. I do kind of get tired of that. Like, I do have those days where I'm just like, you know what? I wish I could just sit here with like Chinese takeout in my underwear and watch 18 of my happiest movies. Sometimes you want to do that. And sometimes you should, because you just got to get out of your system. And also she says, if you had one superpower, what would it be? It would either be to manifest money, manifest cleanliness. So like I could just like, and my whole house is done. Or manifest all of the calories I just ate, just like eliminated. That would be amazing. Tam Tam wants to know what my favorite movie is. Oh, that's so hard. I love movies. I love them. Anne of Green Gables, Steel Magnolias, A League of Their Own. I'm trying to think of movies that I just could watch like every day. Any 80s movie. I don't have like an absolute favorite, but I like a lot of them. Kill Bill. I love that movie. Favorite song. Ooh, again, I have a lot of songs that I like. So lately, I've been loving Sorry Not Sorry. I've also been loving some Taylor Swift. And, yeah, I would say those are my two from recently. Favorite book. My favorite book is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I read it in 6th grade, and I still read it like a couple times a year because I can read it in a couple hours. But I just love that book. Do it for Johnny! Kennedy wants to know, what is a song you've been recently jamming to? I'm talking singing in the car, playing it on repeat. And okay, so it's Sorry Not Sorry. I could really, like, honestly, all the time. And then I guess I'm going to mention Lana Del Rey, because honestly, every song from her Paradise album, I can sing at the top of my lungs. It's like my car jams, because it gets you through like 2 hours and you're just belting it out. And who doesn't want to be Lana Del Rey? Because she's beautiful. What's a song that always cheers you up when you're down? That's a hard one, because I mostly listen to music when I'm sad. Like, if I'm feeling something, it's when I'm sad. So I don't really have a happy song that makes me feel better. I just have songs that make me feel worse, but in the best way. Like, you know, songs that like make you want to cry because you need to get it out. Those. Dara wants to know, what kind of music do you like and what's your favorite band or artist? I say an eclectic taste in music, lots of music. My husband says I have a terrible taste in music, but I love 80s, I love 90s alternative, I love pop, I love rap, I love 90s country music. I have an eclectic taste in the musics. My favorite band of all time would have to be Smashing Pumpkins, but that's mostly because I grew up. That was like my band when I was little, so I know every song, and that's all the feelings, and I just love me some Smashing Pumpkins. All right, so that's all from the YouTube, so we're gonna pop over to Facebook real quick. Y'all got me lots of questions, y'all. All right, Trisha wants to know, on Simply Filling, what types of chicken are considered Simply Filling? Also, do you know what types of potatoes are considered Simply Filling? So on Simply Filling, any lean protein, so chicken without the skin, grilled chicken, white meat, it can be frozen, it just can't have any added ingredients in it, so you have to check the ingredients label if you're buying frozen chicken cutlets. Sometimes they add sugar and stuff to that. I don't know why. And then potatoes, all potatoes are Simply Filling. Sweet potatoes, white potatoes, russet potatoes. But when it comes to frozen stuff like French fries, again, a lot of those are coated in stuff, so you're gonna have to check the ingredients. If it says sugar anywhere in there, then it's a no, and most of them are a no anyway, just because of the additives. So I make my own potatoes at home. Luann wants to know how tall I am. Luann wants to know how tall I am. I am 5'4.5". I would say 5'5" because then I can weigh more. So 5'5". Heather wants to know what my favorite pastime is. It's probably crafting. I love to just watch movies and stitch. I've been very into embroidery and cross stitch the last couple years, so that's 99% of the time what I'm doing. So yeah. Stacy wants to know how to not give in to cravings. Again, that's a tough question, y'all. Sometimes you just have to, but the difference between giving into a craving occasionally and the difference between giving into a craving daily is just practice and trying to make those better decisions every time it comes upon you making a choice. Like, this food is not stronger than I am stronger than this food. And sometimes you have to look at food like that and say, look, is this the last time I'm gonna get to eat this? And if it is, then I would eat it. Like, kind of like with Christmas. Do I get my mom's Christmas cookies every day? No, I get them once a year. So is it worth it to me to eat them? Yes. But if it's like Toll House cookies that I could get anytime, any day at the store, nothing exciting, I know exactly what they taste like, not really worth it. So look at a food and I always say, am I gonna like not be able to eat this ever again? Or am I not gonna be able to eat this for like a year? And if the answer is no, I could get this anytime, then it's not worth it. I can have it at some other time. And if the answer is yes, this is the only time I'm gonna get to eat this for the year, then it's going in my mouth. Stephanie wants to know, what are some things you do to distract yourself if you feel like you might eat in boredom? This is another thing that I love crafting. Another reason I love crafting is because if your hands and your mind are busy, you don't even notice that the time is kind of flying by. So if I'm feeling snacky, I will turn on a movie, and instead of bringing a snack in there and sitting there and watching a movie, I will pull out my project of the moment and I will just start stitching. And then usually within like 15 minutes of me concentrating on a pattern or something like that, I've forgotten that I was hungry. And if I'm still hungry, then I'll get a piece of fruit. Something usually small like grapes or cherries, something that feels snacky, and then that way I can sit down with it. I get that whole like emotional feeling of getting to sit down with a snack and watch a movie, and I still get to stitch. Also, I've mentioned this in other videos, but I have a strict don't sit down with food rule unless it's pre-portioned. So if I'm eating something in the kitchen, I gotta be standing up. If it's a snack, then I gotta portion it out or I can't sit with it. Tanya wants to know, how do you stay motivated over time? It's a daily struggle. Motivation is one of those things that I feel like comes and goes. Luckily, it's mostly here, but I do have days where I'm just like, I don't care. You know, I want to be fat. Like, I just want to eat everything and I don't care. And that's fine. You know, everyone's human. Nobody's perfect all of the time. I think it's just important to, when that happens, if you can control it, do. And if you can't, then just get right back into it in the next meal. I mean, one meal is not going to undo you. 4 days of meals is going to undo you a little bit. So I just feel like when you've done it, just jump right back in the wagon. On the wagon? In the wagon? Kim wants to know what my go-to snacks are. My go-to snacks are fruit. So like I love apples, clementines, cherries, and bananas. Those are like always in my, and cantaloupe. Those are always in my house. And then microwave fat-free popcorn if I'm feeling something salty. And then I am a pretty big sweets person, so I usually have to have a chocolate option of some sort. So for that, I like my chocolate hummus with fruit. Sometimes you can make a low point like mug cake if I'm wanting some cake. I think that's the biggest thing, is if you have a snack trigger, is to find a replacement for that. Nothing's gonna taste as good as that. Like, find something that's close, so that at least if you are indulging, it's not like a 15-point indulgent, it's like a 5-point indulgence. So that's what I do. Samantha wants to know, what are your favorite books and movies? I like horror movies, I like 80s movies, I like feel-good comedies. And then for books, I love historical like dramas. So like right now I'm reading Gone with the Wind. Mostly I'm reading Gone with the Wind because it's about like cities that are around me, and it's crazy to me that I didn't learn any of this in school. Like we didn't cover any of this. And I know it's just a book, but it's very interesting to like hear cities that I know very well that I had no idea had anything to do with Civil War. So I love those kind of books, and then I also love horrors like Stephen King. Charity wants to know, how is your Crohn's and how are you managing it? If you guys are new to the channel, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease a couple of months ago. I'm really excited, mostly because I have an answer after years of misery. I finally have an answer, and it has nothing to do with my weight, and it has nothing to do with anything else. I just have Crohn's disease. So I'm on a medication that I have to take twice a day. So I have to take 4 giant horse pills a day, but they have completely turned my symptoms around. I have like almost none. So I'm pretty sure I can now say that I am in remission. Because when you are having a flare, it's terrible. And when you are not having any symptoms, you are in remission. So I'm really excited that I've found a treatment plan that works. Sherry wants to know, how's your health since getting the diagnosis? That's basically it. I am feeling amazing. My energy levels are up. My digestion is better. I don't have any of my other weird symptoms of, craziness that I thought I was insane. I just feel like a whole new person, and a normal whole person. Vicky wants to know, what's the best food find you've come across since doing Simply Filling? Ooh, I don't know. I would have to say it's oatmeal and potatoes, because I'll eat a potato a day, but it just killed me to have to spend so many points on a potato. And now I can just eat them as I want to. Also, it's great with Simply Filling that you can substitute things. So like if I want hash browns, I can use a real potato. If I want to have pancakes, I can make them with oatmeal instead of flour. If I want sushi, I can make it with brown rice. So I kind of like that I have learned to substitute healthier ingredients for foods that I love and then still work it into my plan. Mandy wants to know, do you have a favorite restaurant, copycat, Weight Watchers friendly recipe? I don't. Most of the things that I get at restaurants are pretty boring, so making them at home is already easy. So no, sorry. Susan wants to know, what is the first word that comes to your mind the moment you look in the mirror? Usually it's, you need more sleep. Where'd that line come from? All right, so now we're on to Instagram and then we're done. I promise. This is the longest video I've ever made, I think. She Gets Fit wants to know, she says she loves my YouTube channel. Thank you. I wonder if you work out regularly, and if so, what do you do now? For a while there, before the holidays hit, my husband and I were hitting the gym every day for an hour, and we would swim. Usually we would swim for an hour, and then sometimes I would come in and do the walking machine, the treadmill. I was also really into rowing for a little bit. But that was before the holidays. We've kind of gotten out of that habit now, but I'm hoping that as the weather gets nicer, we can get back outside, because that's probably my top workout, is just to go walk. There's no excuse for you not to walk unless it's really cold or raining. But just walking my neighborhood for 30 minutes a day really helped me a lot. So I'm hoping to get back into that soon. Christine wants to know, what bands or singers do you listen to, and who is your all-time favorite? Again, it's got to be the Smashing Pumpkins and Lana Del Rey. Those are kind of like the ones that I never turn off. Like if they're on my iPod, they come through the shuffle. I don't ever skip a song. Fitastic and Curvy wants to know what my favorite mascara is Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced. My favorite eye palette is my Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. And maybe the Chocolate Bar palette from Too Faced. You can get a lot of looks with those two. My favorite foundation is the IT Cosmetics CC cream. And then my favorite powder is actually by an indie company called The All Natural Face. And it's just a light powder that I use to mattify and brighten. Raya Chavez. Blah, 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 blah. She says, I'm thinking about doing online only and skipping the meetings. Do you find the online resources valuable, or do you just like the app for tracking? The online sources are great. I mean, I've gotten this far without doing any meetings. I feel like the food, all the info you need for food is there. And then if you are on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that, I feel like that the community is there as well. So maybe if you don't need the structure of a meeting, that you can find the positives of a meeting outside of the actual meeting. But I do feel like if you're someone who needs that accountability every week with the same people and a weigh-in and all that kind of stuff, then I think meetings would probably be really beneficial to you if online itself isn't working. So I do suggest you try it if it's not working for you. All right, and lastly, Home Cooked and Handmade wants to know, what is my favorite Corelle or Pyrex pattern? Oh, that's tough. All of them. I actually have not seen one that I don't like. Actually, yeah, I don't think I could pick just one. If I could have a house full of just dishes that I could just pull out in a mood of my whim, I would. She says, do you display any of your dishes or do you just use them? I use most of them, but I do have a collection of Cape Cod red glass that was from Avon that my family used it for Christmas, and now I have a collection of it, but I don't ever use it. It's just sitting up in the storage like shelf looking all pretty, but I do use most of my stuff. How did you get started collecting? It's probably my mom's fault. My mom collected dishes when I was little. She collects Fiestaware. So when I was growing up, she had a huge china cabinet full of Fiestaware, which at the time I thought was just so stupid, and now I think it's so beautiful. But it's her fault. We would just always go to like thrift stores and like yard sales, and we would just collect these beautiful dishes and imagine having little tea parties and stuff with our little cute different dishes and different themes and colors, and it's my mom's fault. So that is all of the questions, y'all. This was a really long video. I hope you guys stick through to the end. My mouth is tired. Thank you guys so much for submitting so many wonderful questions, and I hope I answered them to the best of my abilities for you. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I will see you in my next video next week. Have a great time over Saturday and Sunday. Ending videos is awkward. Bye!